Nightingale 0.2 was released recently, and after testing PAX Day for a week and playing Palworld to prepare for their summer update, getting hyped for 7 Days to Die's official release, and being too broke to buy Enshrouded, I can safely say that in my opinion, Nightingale might be the best survival game out of all of them. And even if you don't think the game is worth it now, I believe that it's only a matter of time before Nightingale reaches the point where the gaming world realizes how great the game actually is. Let me explain why. Nightingale is a slow, methodical trudge of a survival game. It's not a game well suited for players looking for a quick in and out experience with easy loot that shoots out of mobs like a piñata. But if you actually pay attention to what the game is trying to teach you and let yourself slow down to enjoy the journey, you'll find yourself immersed in what might be the deepest crafting and building game you've ever experienced. Every material has a set of stats, and depending on how you put your gear together, you can greatly personalize your build to suit your favorite playstyle, or create multiple sets of gear to suit whatever you're looking to do at any given moment. There are a few building styles in the game that'll allow you to create any home you want. Many of these structures also mix and match well with each other, letting players create a very personalized place that'll suit their needs. And the system that's used is a relatively easy to understand blueprint system where you'll place your building pieces to your liking however you want, and then add resources to the building in order to complete it. This makes it much easier to organize and plan a build before using or gathering the materials you need beforehand, which makes the overall building experience much smoother than other builders like Valheim. I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure that this blueprint system exists in Sons of the Forest also. Additionally, there are a few tricks to the building process that the devs have added to make things easier that players haven't noticed yet. My favorite is the remodeling system. If you have structures built and you want to remodel, you add your blueprint pieces and then you destroy another structure to make the blueprint work. Then, the materials from the destroyed item are automatically added to the blueprint to complete the structure. It's a little wonky, but overall it's a very useful system that has mostly gone unnoticed by the Nightingale community. And that's a consistent problem that this game has. There are a myriad of systems in the game that make everything much easier. It's just that the tutorials don't help the players understand some of those smaller things, which leads them to believe that the things in the game are actually more difficult than they actually are. That leads to a lot of the reviews that you might have seen already. But take a look at the recent update. The devs added craft from storage, which really alleviated much of the inventory management issues that players had while crafting. It might be necessary to clean out boxes of useless early level materials since their stats won't be beneficial to endgame gear, but that just leaves players with more space since they can simply get rid of those low tier materials. In the case of wood and fiber, it can simply be used for fuel in the various burners around your building, so it's not completely useless. And talking about building, the devs reduced the building material costs for higher tier structures to make it easier for players to build whatever they wanted after unlocking the blueprints without an unnecessary amount of farming and refining. They also increased the stack sizes of materials. It used to be a cap of 100, but as a side effect from crafting from containers, they probably increased the stack size to help make the new system work with the menus that we have now. But reducing the clutter inside storage boxes also reduces the number of boxes that a player needs to build into their crafting areas in the first place. This is something that PAX Day desperately needs to learn. They added queue slots to crafting benches so you don't have to waste time waiting for something to finish in order to get the next set of materials cooking, streamlining the process and making it more enjoyable to engage with. They added a bit more utility to your companion in addition to allowing you to stop them from performing certain tasks like dumping your tier 5 wood into the barbecue or using materials you were trying to save for other projects. While it's not a swarm of lovable workers, in the future it'll probably be able to handle the monotony of gardening and fishing to help the player gather a wider range of materials for craft and building projects. They also now allow the player to buy items from vendors remotely after you've talked to them. Originally, you had a large list of vendors and you needed to remember which realm they were in and travel to them in order to buy whatever it was that you were missing. The point in highlighting these patch notes in the recent update is to show you how the game is being improved by the devs according to player feedback and how fast the game is being updated. These updates are only 2 months after it was released to early access in February. You might not have realized it because of the whirlwind of new games that have been released during that same time. It's a really short period of time for such important quality of life changes. New enemies, new weapons, and bug fixes to be added to a relatively new game. And it gives me quite a bit of optimism about the future of Nightingale, especially when you realize that this roadmap was given to the community a month and a half, 2 months, a little while before the patch was released. Craft from storage, queued crafting, questline updates, additional NPC functionality, improved enemy AI, new building components, new projectile weapons, all of those things have come in already, and they put this as medium term. We're still waiting for an offline mode, which is a different problem. It's more back-end stuff, but for the most part, they put this as medium term, but it was very, very quick. With that in mind, what will they be able to improve and introduce in the next 6 months? We still haven't seen the last human city itself, Nightingale, and while the questline won't win any awards yet, the endgame vaults have a lot of potential, and the story has hinted at icy biomes and a villain that sounds much like the Night King from Game of Thrones. To help with that, the realm card system they have essentially unlocks the devs' ability to create an unlimited number of worlds and biomes that players can explore and harvest for materials. We know that a snow biome is coming, but what about a dead world full of burning ash? A watery world with spirits, or even an abandoned city taken over by the Bound? Literally anything is possible and easily implemented thanks to how realm cards work. Now, of course, the game itself isn't everyone's cup of tea. Like PAX Day, it's going to cater to the player who loves the survival genre, who doesn't mind a slow, meaningful grind, and a gargantuan amount of build customization. And I think that's what players can get excited about and look forward to. A passion project by devs committed to their Victorian steampunk survival game with fantastic environments and disturbing enemies, wrapped up in a building and crafting system with more build variety than players know what to do with. Nightingale might not suit many players who aren't interested in a slow journey, but for those who can enjoy the ride, it offers an experience unlike any other game in the genre. And in my opinion, when Nightingale finally releases into 1.0, it's going to surprise a lot of people. At least that's my hope. Nightingale is, after all, my favorite game in the genre right now, and I hope more people will see the potential in the game that the recent update has highlighted. Anyway, that's it. You're welcome.